Hi guys, my name's Doug with Infotainment.com. Today we're working in the General Motors 2007 to 2014 full-size truck and SUVs. That includes the Chevrolet Silverado, the 1500 and the 2500, 3500. It also includes the Tahoe and the Suburban. And then furthermore, the GMC Sierra, the Yukon, and the Yukon XL. Today I'm going to show you guys all your factory options as far as the radio is concerned, what your options are as far as replacing or upgrading or whatever the case may be. Here at Infotainment.com, we provide all of the factory radios for those model years and even the newer ones as well. But today we're going to focus on the 2007 to 2014. Now, many of you have a radio that looks similar to this. This is actually an upgrade. So here at Infotainment.com, we actually embed Bluetooth streaming audio capability in the base model radio. So if you have one of these in your 2007 to 2014 vehicle and you want to just gain the capability of Bluetooth streaming audio, we do have a separate video that shows you how easy it is to install and how to get your phone hooked up to it so you don't need to use the aux port. So this is a great base level or entry level option. This is the standard CD player radio with integrated Bluetooth streaming audio. Your next option is your basic GPS navigation system. This one here is already installed in this truck. It is a touchscreen. It has backup camera capability. It also has an embedded DVD player for those of you who have rear entertainment. So this is a great upgrade as well. We do offer this on our website. We also offer repair services. So maybe you already have this radio and the screen's cracked or faded or the disk drive is bad. That's all stuff that we can repair at Infotainment.com. Now, if you have that base model radio and you want to go to the basic GPS navigation system, come check us out on our website. This is an option here for all 2007 to 2014 trucks and SUVs. All right, this is your third option. Now, this is what GM considers their premium unit. This is an awesome system, full touchscreen. It's got better graphics, more up-to-date features and usability. Today, this is what we're going to install in this vehicle. We're actually going to remove this GPS navigation system, and we're going to upgrade it to the latest and greatest. Now, what's great about this system, not only is it got better graphics and features like that, this is 100% pre-programmed for a plug-and-play installation in your truck or SUV. It comes with all molded connectors, and it just plugs and play. I mean, you'll see right here how easy it is to install this, and I'll show you guys briefly how it works in the vehicle itself. So let's get started. All right, guys, I want to explain before we get started exactly what parts are included and what they do. So this main part right here is actually going to convert your existing connectors behind your radio to be able to fit into the premium system. Okay, so that's what this harness does here. This little harness here you'll use. It's, again, molded connectors. You disconnect the one out of the back of your radio here, plug this one into the back of your new system. This will retain your rear DVD entertainment system. Those of you who do not have rear DVD, you won't have a connector behind your radio, so you won't need this. This connector here is, this basically has your vehicle speed sensor, your VSS wire, and it has your backup camera capability. So those of you who have an existing GPS navigation system, you won't need to worry about this green wire. If you do not have a GPS navigation system currently, you will have to connect this wire to you'll just use a little T-tap, and under your steering column, you'll connect to a wire under there. We'll have a separate video to show you how to do that. Those of you who have an existing backup camera, don't even have to worry about this. It's all pre-wired for your existing backup camera. If you want to add a backup camera, you're going to run your video input into this RCA. Just makes it super easy. These two little Molex connectors here, this one's going to plug into your main harness. Like so. This little connector here is going to plug into this next one here. This is going to plug into your OnStar module, which is located just beneath the radio. It's this big silver box. This little connector will plug right into it. Now, if we'll talk about this later in the video, if there's already a connector in there, you won't need this. But if your OnStar module does not have a connector in the J3 port, then this just simply plugs in, and this is to retain your steering wheel controls. This here is your AM/FM antenna adapter. This will plug in the back of your new radio, and your existing factory connector or antenna connector will plug in right here. Next, for those of you who want to retain your Sirius XM satellite radio, this is a little harness that we will include. Basically, behind your glove box is your Sirius XM module. You simply just need to disconnect the connector that's in the module, plug it into here, route this behind the radio, and simply plug this right here. Now, what that's going to do, that's going to allow you to use your factory installed Sirius XM antenna, so you don't need to install another antenna. If you do not have Sirius XM currently in your truck or SUV, we do have basic Sirius XM antennas available on our website. For this advertisement at the bottom, you'll notice where we talk about an available Sirius XM antenna for those of you who do not have it. Most of you already have it, so you'll use this to utilize your existing factory installed antenna. This here is a USB cable. This will retain the USB connector that's in your armrest. This is pretty cool. It allows you to retain it, like I said. For those of you who have a USB input in your armrest, this will retain it. If you do not have USB, you'll actually gain it. This will simply plug in the back of your radio here. You can route this to the glove box, so you'll be able to connect your smartphone and be able to listen to music through the USB. That's for those of you who do not have an existing USB port. Those of you who have an existing USB port, I'll show you here shortly how this works and how you retain it. Last but not least, these little baggies here have some wires and terminal. This is if you have the Y91 or Y92 option code on your glove box sticker. That means you have the premium Bose audio system. You will have to install this. We include instructions on how to do that. This is necessary to retain GPS voice guidance through your existing audio system. If you do not have Y91 or Y92 on your glove box sticker, you can completely disregard this part. All right, guys, now these parts are optional, and these you only need in certain circumstances. I was just mentioning about the Sirius satellite radio antenna. This is the one that we carry. It's got a magnetic base. Those of you who do not have Sirius XM satellite radio and want to add it, this is the kit that you'll add to your cart. It's just a basic Sirius XM antenna. It just plugs right into this Curry FACRA plug down here, and you'll be able to get Sirius satellite radio. So this is optional. The next thing that's optional, if your vehicle does not have an existing GPS navigation system and you're upgrading to this, you will need to install an antenna, GPS antenna. This little blue connector simply just plugs in the blue FACRA port on the back of the radio, and this mounts anywhere underneath your dash top. It's got to be under your windshield, just underneath your dash top. So a lot of people, what they'll do is if you take off this cowl here, this panel up here just pops up. You could put the antenna anywhere under here and then just route the wire to plug into your GPS system. So you take this off, pop this up, you can install the GPS antenna, run it underneath the ducts into the GPS system. That's how you add the GPS antenna for those of you who do not currently have GPS in your vehicle. Last but not least, those of you who have the Bose audio system, this whole kit works plug and play. You know you have Bose. If you notice up here on your tweeter, you'll see the Bose symbol or signia right here. So those of you who do not have Bose in your vehicle, you will need to purchase our plug and play amplifier. These premium systems require a small amplifier in order to work, so we offer one. This is sold separately on our website for those of you who do not have Bose. You can install this anywhere you want. Typically, we'll install it behind the driver's knee bolster down here. You route the wiring up to behind the radio, and this is just a complete pass-through. You plug your two factory connectors, radio connectors into here. You plug these two in the back of the radio. So that's how you add the amplifier to your vehicle. Again, those of you who do not have Bose will need this in order for the GPS system to work. All right, guys, so now we're ready to install the kit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and remove this little cowl or trim piece that goes around your radio and AC controls, just held in with retaining clips. So we'll do that first. Basically, in order to do this upgrade, you'll need a little small flathead screwdriver, almost like a precision tool, a dash pry tool, and then a 7mm driver. So let's get started. All right, the first thing we're gonna do is remove this trim. Now, again, it's just held in with retaining clips, but we need to get started in one corner. So just kind of get behind it just enough so you can get your pry tool in there, and then simply just pop it out of place. You notice the retaining clips on the back. There's no screws that hold this in place. Now we're going to remove 8 screws. There's going to be 4 on each side. Something else I want to point out just real quick. If you happen to have the Silverado or Sierra and the radio is located more up here and it's got a panel around it, that panel, as well as this one, just pops off to give you access to those screws. So do the same procedure. This particular vehicle has the center console, the floor console. The vehicles that don't have the floor console, again, that just pops right off as well. So now anyways, now that we have all these screws out, you could set these 2 down here. We can go ahead and pull out our radio. Just come in the back here, press the connectors in, or the tabs, and they should all come right out. Now sometimes this little one here, this happens to be a USB connector. That just takes a little bit of finesse. I like to use my screwdriver just to kind of pry it up a little bit. Then it comes right out. Just pull on your AM FM antenna. And then this one here has a little tab. Press it in and take it right out. All right, now you notice I did disconnect a blue antenna connector. This is the GPS antenna. So this particular vehicle already had a GPS navigation system installed from the factory. So we don't need to worry about this installing another antenna. We can reuse this one. This vehicle also came with the USB and the armrest. So we're just gonna have to just replace this, and I'll explain to you here in just a minute on how that installs. This particular vehicle also has the Bose audio system. So we won't have to worry about installing that amplifier. So we're good there as well. Last but not least, this vehicle did have the GPS navigation system, so when we install the one harness, we don't need to hook up that green wire to underneath the steering column. All right, we're gonna go ahead and install the kit. So we're gonna reach in here, we'll take our factory connectors, and we'll start plugging them into our interface. You'll hear them click into place. So now that those 2 connectors are in, we have this small one. This one here, which is a 4-pin Molex, we'll plug right into this connector. We'll take our brown connector and plug it into here. Again, this vehicle already has a backup camera and it already had a GPS navigation system, so we don't need to do anything with the green wire. And we don't need to do anything with the RCA. We're just going to use this as a pass-through harness. Furthermore, this little connector right here, which is attached to this 2-pin, plugs into this module right here. It's a silver OnStar module. Now, if you reach behind here, you can feel wires plugged into it. I did go ahead and look before we shot this video. If you take off the panel on the left side of the console here, it just pops right off. You can actually go back there and feel if you have something plugged into the center pin, the J3, or the center connector, the J3 plug. So in this particular install video, we will not need to plug this in because there already is a plug in that location from the factory. So we can disregard that. All right, so 3 of the plugs are occupied now. We're gonna go ahead and plug this connector in here. This little light gray connector is for your rear entertainment. This particular vehicle has rear entertainment, so we are gonna utilize this harness. Next thing I'm gonna do here is locate the AM/FM antenna connector, which is right here. Simply just plug the adapter into it. Now this is ready to go. So the only 2 things we have left to do in this particular install is 2 things. We're gonna reroute a new USB because this doesn't plug into the new style radio. So we'll have to run a new cable that goes from the back of this radio to underneath this little cubby here. It's very easy to do. And then last but not least, we have to run, since this vehicle does have Sirius XM satellite radio from the factory, we're gonna go behind the glove box and connect our extension so we could utilize the factory antenna. All right, now to do the USB cable, we're just gonna pop this panel out. Just held in with retaining clips. So whenever you pop it out, you'll notice right here is your USB connector. Now, they didn't actually come out with a USB system until 2010. So if you have a 7, 8, or 9, you won't even have this, and you can disregard this part. Just run it to your glove box so you can, you'll have a way to use a USB. Nevertheless, what we have here is our replacement cable. So it just plugs right back in the same spot the factory one was. Now all we have to do is just route this up behind the radio. You won't need this anymore, so you could tuck it back, the old one. This will now be your new one. So the easiest thing to do is just kind of route it back through here. If you pop the panel off on the side, you can just grab it and run it up behind the radio. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and install our Sirius satellite radio antenna extension. Basically, all you do is you lift your glove box down. If you come back in here, if you press up on the tab, it folds right down. The tab is located right here, so just press up on it, and then your glove box folds down. But the antenna connector we're looking for is this one right here. So basically, you just get in here, press the tab on the back side of it, and disconnect it. Now all you have to do is just plug in your extension. This antenna right here goes up to the roof. It goes into this module for your old radio. So all we're doing is we're just extending that antenna. We'll route it up through here. And then behind the radio cavity. Once you have it routed through, use a couple zip ties if you have them, and just kind of put it up along your factory wiring back there, and then you can pop your glove box right back into place. All right, those of you who have a 2007 to a 2011, you will have to trim off the lower part of this radio cavity. It's very easy to do. You can use a Dremel tool, even a hacksaw. Just get it on this corner here We're just removing this lower piece here. Do it there, and then trim it right here. So we'll do that now. Then if you pull out on this, it'll actually snap right off. Once you do that, you can go ahead, move on to the next step. You'll notice everything fits perfectly now. So now we can put our 4 screws back in on each side. Some of you may have noticed earlier in the video, these 2 buttons here were very worn. Well, there's this really cool website called Control Button Renew, RENU.com. And basically they make replacement buttons for the GM vehicles. So now it looks basically brand new. And as these wear away, you just peel off the little sticker and put it right over. So it looks real sharp. Now we're ready to pop on our dash panel. So just line it up. Snap it into place. All right, now that we have the dash all buttoned up and in its place, let's go ahead and start it up and check it out. You did notice the nice splash screen, the animated splash screen of the manufacturer, whether it's a Chevy or a GMC. That animated splash screen just looks really sharp. Here in the home menu, you can choose between AM, FM, Sirius XM, or your USB through there. This will also bring you into your internal hard disk drive. This unit actually has a built-in hard drive. You can store hundreds of CDs and rip it onto the internal hard drive, which is really neat. Under the disc here, I actually have a DVD inside the unit currently. So it does play DVD, not only in the front screen while you're parked, but then also for your rear screens, for those of you who have rear entertainment. If you press nav here, it'll bring you to a split screen. And this will give you your radio information or your DVD, whatever your source you're using. This side will be your maps. If you press full map, it'll give you your full map. You can adjust the zoom down here. You can adjust the look here, whether you want 2D or 3D. If you start it up and you have a GPS symbol here with a line through it, that means you have to drive the vehicle for about 5-10 minutes to get it linked up to the satellites. Once it links up to the satellites, you'll notice it'll pinpoint your location right away. Destination here, you could do address, entry, point of interest, previous destination.
Please proceed to the highlighted route. Then the route guidance will start.
So you notice the guidance comes through the factory speakers as well, which is fantastic. RPT will repeat what the navigation prompt. It'll just repeat that. The menu here, you could come in here and adjust your bass, mid, treble. You could adjust your balance and fade. which you want to do when you first start it up. In display, you want to have your dimming mode in auto. Time, if you want, you could set your time, obviously. That's all through menu. The fave here will cycle through the bottom buttons. In order to save one, you just go to the station you want to go to and press and hold the soft key. Source, as you mentioned, I've been going back and forth with the sources. And then this is for Sirius Travel Link for those of you who subscribe to that. But as you can see, just an awesome system here, guys. The graphics, the usability is just so much better. Another thing that's a great option is in reverse, you do get the dynamic grid line. So as you turn your wheel, it turns as well. So you retain all factory features by upgrading to this system. This is a 100% factory GM system pre-programmed to your vehicle by Infotainment.com. We do this upgrade and so much more on Infotainment.com, not just for the 07 to 14 trucks and SUVs, but also 15 and up as well. If you want to add Apple CarPlay or Android Auto to your late model vehicle, you can do that. That's 2014 and up. We also do backup camera kits. If your truck doesn't have a backup camera, we can help you with a plug-and-play backup camera kit. Satellite radio. We do so much more, not just for GM. We're also talking about Ram, Jeep, Ford, Toyota, Nissan, so on and so forth. So come check us out, guys. Infotainment.com. Thanks for watching.